Hey Salim, we've got a war. There's a war in Ukraine being waged by Russia. We're still in a global pandemic. Seems like there's a lot going on right now. What ways do you think exponential technologies or exponential thinking could make a difference? How can we transform the world for a better future when the world's acting like this? Tell us your insights, please.
So, Ukraine and the war. I think this is clearly an exponential war. What I mean by that is that models that worked in the past don't work today. For example, Assad in Syria, I would think would have killed tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands more people if the world wasn't watching, if there wasn't social media all over the place reporting every action. I think Putin is fighting a war from 20 years ago when he thinks he can roll in and nobody will see what he's doing. Whereas every camera in Ukraine is recording every action, every brutality for war crimes later. But the sentiment and empathy coming out, the aid being sent, the weapons being sent to support the Ukrainians is growing massively. And he cannot win the PR war. Um, it's the Ukrainians, I think, are going to show the world how to manage this in the future from an autocrat. And every brutality is now documented with 6 cell phone cameras, and therefore the amount of damage that they dare do will be much, much, much less. This is also a propaganda war and a hacking war. They're desperately trying to hack each other to bits, and it's more so than a physical war, which is great because we lose less human life than, say, the Vietnam War, where 1 million people died. So in overall, this hopefully will be not that long lived, because at some point the West will have to issue a no-fly zone, um, or the uh, the Kremlin will get bogged down in the Ukraine to the most ridiculous level and be fighting a guerrilla war, and maybe the soldiers just give up. So again, I'm the optimistic side. I'll go back to a comment by Ray Kurzweil that technology is a much better way of progressing humanity. War is a very inefficient way of progressing humanity, and we have now all these technologies moving quickly. If we get energy abundance, why do we need to fight wars? Because energy abundance gives you water abundance, and so on. So that's my view. I think exponential technologies give us abundance, and therefore we don't need to fight the same wars. But this war, I think, is going to be won and lost in the mindset.
Our hearts go out to all of those that are affected by the war in Ukraine. I hope for a speedy resolution. That's the best I could ask for. Salim, thank you so much for your insights and your guidance. Uh, Wise words. Nothing much else to say there today. To all of you out there, have a great day wherever you are.